Hello, my darlings. My name is Victoria, and this is Veritas Tarot. Taurus, I'm going to do you a love reading today. It's a beautiful day here in England, and we're going to be focusing on the person that you're thinking about at this time. And we're also going to be looking at yourself, this self-love for yourself, which is so important. I'm going to be using my Spirit Song Tarot, my beautiful Spirit Song Tarot, to start off the reading. And then I'm going to be using my new Muse Tarot, the new version of the Gilded Tarot, and whatever else I'm guided to pull during this reading. If the reading doesn't resonate, it simply means it was not for you at this time, my darling. There'll always be a reading out there for you at exactly the right time as guided by Spirit. And if the reading does resonate, Taurus, I would be so grateful if you would comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you to all of you that have done so and all the wonderful comments that I have been receiving. I am very humbled and very grateful to receive these from you. I do enjoy and love doing these readings, so it is lovely to receive messages back from you. So for Taurus, for those that most need to hear it, and just before I start, these readings, although they're sort of time-stamped, they are timeless. They are for whenever you're guided to see this reading. That's the beauty and magic of how Spirit works. So Taurus, this is for you, for those that most need to hear it, my darling. Thank you. What's come out for you? So you've got the Seven of Feathers, and it says here, preparation and resourcefulness. Now, in the traditional tarot, my darling, the Seven of Feathers is about being in a situation where you have felt deceived. You have felt that somebody has done something that's been very upsetting. It's been very traumatic for you. They may have left your life abruptly. They may have done something that has hurt you in a way that you're finding it hard to move forward from that. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. So immediately Spirit is telling me that what has happened in your life has happened for you in order for you to really focus on yourself, on who you are. And because sometimes we have a habit of losing ourselves in relationships, we lose sight of ourselves in order to fulfill another. But in order to fulfill another, surely we have to be fulfilled within ourselves in the first place. And when we lose sight of ourselves in relationship, we're putting ourselves last. So we're not showing ourselves the love and respect that we deserve. You know, we are with ourselves for every second of our lives. So surely we should love ourselves with the same amount of love that we give another as well. So this Seven of Swords is the cheetah. Now the cheetah, I want to show you again, the cheetah has a tendency to live alone. So the cheetah is it's alone, it's in solitude, but it's always in that moment of observing. Always in that moment of observing, and it responds swiftly to new approaches. It responds swiftly to opportunities. And so what Spirit is saying to you here today is, if you can look at this about, being in the situation where you don't live in the past and you don't live in the future, but you're in this present moment observing, why has this happened? Not why has it happened to me, to you? Why has it happened that way? Because that puts us into a victim mode, and it also puts us into a place where we are giving control of how we respond to things and how we feel about things to others. So why has this happened for you? What has this experience that's been sent to you? You've caused it to happen. Your soul has caused it to happen. What is it trying to teach you? In the Seven of Swords, in the traditional tarot, generally the person who is being deceptive is leaving the card with 5 swords. And that number 5 means change. So this is something, and it's always a temporary situation. It's like another experience that they need to go through and you need to go through. And change is good, my darling. I know change can be uncomfortable. I know there are times when we feel that I don't like this change, but change is always a way forward. It's never a way back. It's always a way forward. And as souls, our soul job is for our evolution, for our soul's evolution, and evolution is always a way forward. So when your soul calls forth this experience for you in order for you to release some things, to look at why this has happened for you. Is this a pattern in your life that keeps repeating? What is it within you that gets triggered each time? What is the reaction that you have? The reaction. Because for the most part, we feel that we are dealing with life from an adult point of view. but we're not. We're dealing with it from a conditioned perspective, and that perspective goes back to wounds and hurts and experiences that we haven't got over since we were little. And they don't have to be big things, but it conditions us to behave in a certain way. So Spirit wants you to be a close observer at this time. Be still, be quiet, be in that space where you don't have any opinion of something. You just wait and say, thank you for the answers to come in for you. And it's a reminder as well, darling, that just like we get triggered by things, other people get triggered by things too. So whomever this has happened with, they are being triggered and having a reaction from their own place of unhealed hurt, their own shards of hurts that are still within them from various things, their own triggers, my darling. And so if you have that understanding and that different perspective of it, then that gives you a bit of peace. And it also allows you to have compassion for them. And it also allows you to not be so controlled, or it allows you to feel more empowered within yourself, because you're able to release things and let things go with understanding. You have no opinion. You see, when we have an opinion on another, on anybody, when we have an opinion of how things should be and why things should be, what we're literally doing is straitjacketing them and us. We're saying, you have to do things this way, or otherwise I'm going to be unhappy. And when we make somebody else the source of our joy, we are instantaneously also assigning them the source of our suffering. That's why our self-love is so important. It's about being in that space where we have learned to truly, truly love ourselves, because we deserve that love we should give ourselves. And in doing so, we become a cup, like this Ace of Cups, become overflowing with love. And all we have is love to give another, because we want to, because we love to, not because we're looking for a need for them to love us in order for ourselves to feel lovable. And that's where I used to be on my journey, my darling. I used to be in relationships where I used to do everything that was so lovable, because subconsciously I was saying, well, if I'm doing this lovable thing, then surely that means I'm lovable. But how can I look to somebody else to love me if I didn't love myself? And so all I was a bucket with an empty hole in it. It didn't matter what anybody did. I didn't see it that way. I saw it from a different perspective. I saw it from my cloudy lens of life. I saw life from my triggers. So I hope that makes sense for whomever this may be resonating with. So let's move forward in the reading and find out a little bit more about the Seven of Feathers. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. This is for Taurus. The Three of Pentacles. So this is one of my favorite cards from this deck. Whatever has happened for you, my darling, whatever has happened for you is to bring you to your own, literally the Three of Pentacles is a foundation, is to bring you to a place where you are your own solid rock. You are your own foundation. Things have to sometimes leave our lives in order for other things to come in order for lessons to be learned. As I call it, rememberings to be remembered, because our soul already knows everything. It's just remembered, it's forgotten, it remembers, when you have those beautiful aha moments, when you have those instinctive moments of knowing something, that's your soul remembering, going, yes, I remember that. Because our soul is a piece of divinity, and therefore our soul represents that ancient wisdom, knowledge, intuition. It's wonderful. So with this Three of Pentacles, you are, excuse my phone, you are, this experience for you is going to it's going to empower you if you allow it to be so. If you allow yourself to be in the space where, when you're, you see, let me explain a little bit further. The past kind of perpetuates itself in the present unless we choose to change our perspective. And when we change our perspective from one of, why did this happen to me, to gratitude of, why did this happen for me? How can I change from this? How can I release things? How can I feel happier about this situation? What is it within me that has attracted this towards me? Then gratitude for that experience is incredibly transformative for you, and it becomes a foundation for yourself for relationships moving forward. Because if you're going to be in this relationship now or in another relationship, you don't want to be carrying those same hurts. You don't want to be carrying those same wounds into the next relationship, because you'll just have a repeat of a cycle. So this Three of Pentacles is you moving forward instinctively, like the honeybee. Now also the honeybee is not built to fly, but it doesn't know it, so it flies. So even if you think you can't take those next steps forward, try, my darling, one day at a time. Try, be in the present moment and take that one step forward each time with the expression of I am ready. I am ready. I am incredibly powerful words. It puts you right into this present gifted moment. I am ready for whatever it is I am meant to receive through this experience. I am ready for the understanding. I'm ready for the clarity. I'm ready for the way forward. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the knowledge you wish to give me at this time. I am ready. And the honeybee, there are people around you at this time, or if you don't feel that there are people who are coming in to help you at this time, to collaborate literally with you. They're part of your spirit soul community, and they're coming in to help you this time. God, the universe, always sends those that we need at exactly the right time that we need them. So let's move forward. And the other little expression I want to, Spirit's reminded me to tell you, is that the flower doesn't dream of the bee. The flower blossoms and the bee comes. You don't need to go looking and searching for love, my darling. The only place to focus on is that love within yourself. You know, remember that most of the stress and the anxiety and the hurts that we feel is the way we respond. Is not actually what it is. Yes, somebody may have done something very hurtful, but we have given it meaning because we are disappointed because they may not have done something that we wanted them to do, that we felt that they should have done something a different way. And if they have done something very, very hurtful, my darling, I am very sorry. But remember, they're doing it from their own place of pain. But use this opportunity that you've been given to shift your perspective and to look at all the good things that are coming out of this. So let's move forward. Thank you. Oh, goodness, that flew out. So, well, of course, we've got the Hermit card has popped out, my darling. A beautiful Hermit card with the koala bear. And this says contemplation and wisdom. So this is affirming what I've just been talking about. This is a time for you to spend time alone. And time alone is when God, the universe, wants to spend time with you. It's a time for you to contemplate. It's a time for you to dip into that never-ending pot of wisdom that you have within you, if you were but to listen. Everything, every answer you need is within you. But you know, we've been conditioned for so long to look outside of ourselves. And if we look without, we go without. This is a time for you to meditate. This is a time to walk, take walks alone. This is a time to continuously say, thank you for the answers. Thank you, I am ready to receive. Thank you for the answers that my intuition can tell me. Thank you. The koala bear is a kind of beacon of well-being. And this is a time for you to focus on your well-being, my darling, to sit in that place. Do you see he's up there within his higher self, within that tree? You have huge support around you. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's coming in for you, as I've said. This is a time for you to have rest. This is a time of healing. This is a time of renewal. If you have an operation and it's a physical operation, you need time to rest and renew afterwards. This is the same with hurts, with trauma. You need time to rest. And so the universe is giving you this time right now. And if people have slipped away from your life, it's because you're meant to be spending time alone. You know, feeling the need to be busy all of the time is meaning that you're not looking to, how do I say this? It's like a trauma response to not wanting to look at things. So if you are feeling the need to do that, try and stop doing it. Try and start to enjoy doing nothing, literally doing nothing, listening to some music, going for a walk. I'm not saying nothing, and stop the thoughts going around in your head too much, because most of the thoughts that we think are based on our those things that we've told ourselves, they're based on the conditions and parameters that we've set ourselves about who we are and who we are in relation to other. They're based on things that the people have told us. They're not based on who we are, because our thoughts, our mind can only process the information from this lifetime. And if you've told yourself a lie the whole lifetime, then how can your thoughts now bring you clarity? That's why you have to dip into your intuition and your soul. And you can do that through being open to receive it and allowing it to come in when it's meant to come in, because the answers will always be given to you at exactly the right time that you need to hear them. And you're not going to receive them all at once, because it would be too mind-blowing. But you've got to step out of your mind, literally be out of your mind, to listen to your soul. And you have to retrain your mind to stop getting in the way. It's like trying to have a conversation with somebody who's very quiet, and the very noisy person keeps trying to interrupt. So you have to say no. So the koala literally also observes, and this is a really important time if you're not doing it, to meditate, to receive the answers you're meant to receive. So let's move forward and see. Thank you, Spirit. You see, we sometimes, thank you, Spirit, we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. So you're viewing things a lot of the time, and I've done this many times in my life before, viewed things from how I was, not actually how they are. But through understanding that we can have that different perspective is an amazing gift. Why is this happening for me? Not why is it happening to me? So what have we got here? We've got awakening. Of course we have. You've got another major arcana. This is the Judgment card, my darling, and this talks about renewal and enlightenment. This experience that you've attracted in is a gift for you to renew, not react. Renew, not react. This is a time, this is an inner calling for you. This is another chance for you to readjust your perspective about yourself, your value, what you deserve, your beliefs, and about others as well. It's a chance for you to move forward with a different, beautiful self-love approach to life. And the Judgment card is a time for you to release things, to let go of things. A lot of the time to let go and let God. When we leave everything in God's hands or the universe's hands, we then see God's hand or the universe's hand in everything. We've also, always been told in our lives, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this to make things happen. But when we are so focused on a certain way happening, a certain thing happening, a certain event coming towards us, we're actually blocking a lot of what's meant to come in for us, because we're changing the course of our life path. So sometimes it's best just to sit and to watch the magic happen, where we see things happening. If you say you're ready, if you're really ready, say I'm ready for whatever you want to bring in for me. And when we start to see things happening that we know we had no control over, we didn't try and force it to happen, then we know this is our soul's intent. Because our soul is a piece of divinity. This is God's intent. Now, our soul's intent and God's intent is for everything to be for our greatest good, is for everything to be for the next greatest, grandest version of who we are. Our soul's intent, God's intent, is for our joy and happiness. So if you're focused on one particular course of action and it's not happening for you at this time, or something has caused it to end abruptly, then trust and believe in what God or the universe's plans for you is going to be so much better. But you have to be in the right space to receive it. And if you don't have that right foundation for yourself, then you're not going to be able to receive it as it's intended. So this is the beautiful card with the awakening card, the Judgment card. This is a pivotal moment for you. You can repeat the cycle, or you can renew and move forward. And the feathers represent, letting go of things, through seeing things through that third eye, that's shown in the feathers of the peacock. And it's about you coming into the full amazingness and beauty of who you are, and realizing how empowered you are, how you create your own reality, how you cause things to happen. That is sheer, if you believe, really truly believe. And there's a lovely Anthony Hopkins quote, believe, believe, believe. And if you can't quite believe, play the game of belief, because that is sheer power. This is about you whatever you're looking to manifest in your life, you've got to stop trying to make it happen. And whatever has left your life, if it's temporary or if it's forever, try and accept it. Because in accepting it, you're releasing resistance. We may not understand in moments why things have happened, but if we understand that our soul has chosen it for us, we've caused this to happen for us, our soul knows why this moment's happened, then in that moment of accepting that, we feel a peace and relief, and we release resistance, and we allow the universal wheel of fortune to turn for us, for our greatest good. So this is where this is a time for you to have that inner development, and to really truly start loving yourself. Start loving yourself. This is a spiritual awakening for you, my darling. So let's move on to some other decks. And this card just popped out. This my guys do all the time when they need another message popping out. This is the Hangman. This is another major arcana. So this is another big life-changing card for you. The Praying Mantis. The Praying Mantis is a card of patience. It's a card of having a different perspective. It's a card of willingly choosing to be silent, to listen, contain the same letters. It's the card of high learning. It's the card of enlightenment. It's a delay in moving forward for the time being. And if you're feeling, as I'm saying again, situations not in your control, and you're frustrated about this, don't expect change to happen very soon. It may come in the form of a different direction. Change is an amazing thing, darling. Change is God. It's a form of Godding. It's a gift of divinity, God. Change takes us from one place to another. I want you to truly look at where you were before and ask yourself, did that relationship make you, or does that relationship, if you're still within this relationship, did it or does it make you truly happy? Were you walking on eggshells? Were you trying to do too much for another and not receiving what you wish to receive back? Because within that Seven of Swords, although that person takes the Five of Swords, they do leave two swords behind, truth and clarity. So I want you just to think about that. Use this time. It's a time that's been given for you. Use this time as a way of beginning to adjust your perspective on things. Let's move forward now with, which one am I going to be using? Move those cards out the way. Thank you very much. Let's move forward with my I've forgotten them. My Muse Tarot, my new Muse Tarot. Thank you, Spirit. Can you tell me more about the situation? Thank you, with the Seven of Swords and the Hangman. That card definitely wanted to come out. So Eight of Emotions, Eight of Cups. You or somebody else has walked away from something. And this Eight of Cups and the walking away, this is an eclipse. This has completely overshadowed your life. It has completely taken over. But remember, eclipses only happen for a short while and then they go again. This too shall pass. You will feel better. And that Eight of Cups and that Ace of Cups, if you've walked away from this Seven of Swords situation, you have done that inner calling of the Judgment card. Because you needed to do this, because wherever you were was not for your greatest good. The universe has other plans for you, other joys for you, other surprises, other delights. So this is a temporary place in your feelings, because cups represent emotions. And behind the eclipse is the sun again. And the sun talks about the inner healing that we go through, and that actually, we are grown in the dark, seeds grow in the dark, everything grows in the dark. So as you're in this darker space of your life, trust that this is huge growth time for you, if you choose to accept it, if you choose to start to look at this from a different perspective, because it's always your choice, my darling. It's always your choice. And you've got the Six of Cups here, because this was a very strong relationship for you. The Six of Cups is a soulmate card, but sometimes soulmates come into our lives not just for the love and the beautiful connection. They come in because that connection is so strong. It's a soul contract between the two soulmates. The connection is so strong that when we are triggered by them, it causes so much more it causes so much more experiences for us in terms of our feelings. It causes so much more pain, and that pain then transmutes into healing, and that healing truth transmutes into enlightenment and learning and moving forward. So sometimes we have to feel a great deal in order to go through those experiences, in order to truly understand. And it is causing you to look at the inner child within you. This is the journey that you're asked to be on now, this inner calling of your inner child. What is it within you that is responding to the same events over and over in the same way? What is it that your inner child is trying to tell you? And one of the ways we can help heal that is to think of experiences that when we were younger, where it was very painful, and to actually give that inner child a hug and tell them what the child needed to know at the time. Because, as I said, we do have a tendency to respond to things from our inner child, not from how we are as adults, although we think we do. We don't. Look at the next time you get triggered by something and then think, okay, I've done that quite a few times before. Yes, I can think about doing that a long time ago as well. So that's what's so important. And what else has come out for you as well? You've got the Page of Cups, you've got Strength, and you've got the Four of Materials. So this is about you letting go, my darling, letting go and letting God, trusting that if this person is meant to be with you, they will be, but they're not meant to be with you right now. You know, sometimes God hears things, sees things that we can't hear or see, knows things that we can't know, and removes people from our life because it's for their greatest good and for ours. And we can't heal in the place that we were hurt. So let go and let God. And don't be surprised as you shift your perspective and shift your energy, that door will remain closed for a while, and that actually you will attract into your life somebody on the same vibration as you. So don't be surprised if things don't go according to the way you want to go to, but you have to let go in order for it to happen. Remember, when you let God have a hand in everything, then you see his hand in everything. Let go and let God. And just say, I am ready. And there is a relief to letting go. Trust me, there is a real relief in letting go, because then you're not attaching any meaning to anything. You're not attaching how you feel to another. You're being in the present moment. So that's the Four of Materials, letting go. I'm seeing the camel there, which talks about the journey. It talks about this is a difficult journey. It's a difficult journey, but it's necessary, but it is rewarding. It can be like a cyclone. It can be amazing. I look back on my journey and I am so grateful for it. I am so grateful for it. But I started to be grateful quite early on because I changed my perspective about how to look at things. It's all happening for me. So why? And just in that answering that question, you immediately start healing because you're willing to look at things from a different way. And not holding such strong opinions on things, just being neutral, being still, just observing. Almost like a side player, a side actor in a movie. You're just watching things around you and why they're happening for you. So that's the Four Materials. Now you've got the Strength card, another card. This is your inner willpower. This is the resolution you make to yourself about this journey. This is there's pyramids here, so this represents maybe past life experiences, maybe past life soulmates that this maybe you've done this journey before with them. And the Strength card is also about this drive and this energy to move forward step by step. You've been given it. Look to make the change. Be willing to make the change, and Spirit, God, universe is holding your hand all the way. We'll send in everybody that you need to help you at this time, but it's not for you to lean on another. They're there to give you support and encouragement, but sorry, my hair's a bit messy this morning. It's not for that. It's for you to because somebody can't heal another. Nobody can heal another, but they can trigger in you the ability to heal yourself. And that's maybe then messages that God, the universe, sends you in a variety of different ways will help you at this time. I'm going to finish with, what am I going to finish with? I'm going to do my Gilded Tarot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, the suffering that you feel with it when you attach somebody else as that source of joy and then suffering, when your mind settles and observes without too much of opinion, when it loses its capacity to take things personally and to understand that whatever has happened for them, but also it's because somebody else has been triggered from their place of pain, that's when peace sets in. Let's see what else. Oh my goodness, Spirit. So two more cards for this reading. Thank you. 2 of Swords and one more. That one. 7 of Cups. Okay. 2 of Swords and 7 of Cups. So this is the 2 of Swords is about having that mental block and not wishing to necessarily see things. Sometimes we have to have the blunt truth literally must smack us across the face in order for us to see things. Sometimes there is divine intervention in our lives when we're not doing things and seeing things as they are, but we're seeing them as we are. When divine intervention happens in order for us to go through a necessary change and necessary growth. And the 2 of Swords, though, also for me is, you remember I talked about the 2 of Swords that has come from the 7 of Swords card, the 2 of Swords that was left behind when this change of the 5 of Swords was taken away. You have the truth and clarity. You may not wish to see it at the moment, but it's there, it's within you, and it's ready to tell you. And if you go within, and what's so beautiful about this deck here is you've got these feathers, you know, Spirit is there guiding you. Those feathers represent spiritual advice. The moon represents your intuition and the yearning of the soul to remember. So it's about you not blocking this, but choosing to go within and start to ask for the answers, because they are there for you ready, darling. You just need to be willing to receive them. And then you've got the 7 of Cups has come out. Try not to be too confused. Try not to be, there are so many opportunities for growth for you. There are so many ways forward. But as I said to you, just take one step at a time. And in fact, this 7 of Cups is really rather beautiful. You've got here the peace with the doves. You've got the dragon, which is your no cup. It's your self-empowerment cup. It's the elementals. Dragons are elementals. It's about being grounded. It's about being out in nature. You've got roses for self-love. You've got the feathers there, and you've got here the mountains here. This is a journey that you're going to be undertaking, and the moon card's at the bottom of the deck. So just keep saying, I'm ready for whatever you want to show me and give me at this time. Your guides are there ready to help you. This is a time for you to face things that you may not have wanted to face before. And in taking responsibility for how we feel is such a fantastic way of empowering ourselves. And I'm going to finish on one thing, because I've got the 8 of Cups here again as well. So that's 2 lots of 8s of Cups. When we choose to forgive somebody, we're forgiving them. You can choose to forgive them for them, but primarily choose to forgive somebody for yourself, because forgiving somebody with that understanding, compassion about where they are in order to behave like that is the biggest act of self-love, self-healing, and self-empowerment that you can do for yourself, my darling. So Taurus, I hope that has helped with those that this message was intended for, and I look forward to doing another message or another reading for you in October. Take care, my darlings. Bye-bye.